Hey everybody, welcome to your summer English 1102 class. It's going to be about 4 weeks long, which is a short amount of time to take a writing class at the college level. Um, and I know that can be a little intense for some folks. It is a bit intense. I've done everything I can do to make it as manageable as possible. And I've taught this class a few times in the summer, and it is doable. All right, I've had very good success teaching this class. But I want to just sort of take a little time here off the bat and explain to you how the class is going to go and explain to you why I did some of the things that I've done to try to help you understand what you're in for, okay? The good thing is it's 4 weeks long, so after 4 weeks, if you stay on top of everything, and everything goes well, you'll be in good shape. The bad thing is you got a fair amount of stuff to do over the next 4 weeks. So let me just go over some things here. First of all, my name is Dr. Kevin Casper. And it's sort of weird to not get to speak to you. One of my favorite things about teaching is being in the room and getting to know people. So there's a weird distance in the summer that kind of stinks. But anyway, I made a lot of videos so you can at least see me talking to you and you can watch them again and it'll sort of feel like you're in a class, I hope. This class, as I mentioned in the email, will not use Courstan. I've had some bad luck with Courstan. It seems to go down in inopportune times. And sometimes in the summer they take it down too. Since our class is only 4 weeks, if it goes down for a weekend, we're screwed. So I use a Google Drive where all of our information is going to be stored in, and then we are going to turn our papers into the turnitin.com website. All that information is in that original email I sent. It is also in the syllabus, which is in the welcome folder in the Google Drive. So you'll have plenty of places to look that stuff up. There's also a separate video in the that I made on just the Google Drive and Turnitin, so check that out as well. The way I like to roll in the summer with an online class, what I found that works is that we just get in a rhythm. Okay, so as you notice, the class calendar is actually in Turnitin.com. You can see when everything's due. So your homework is all going to be due on the same day. The focused free write is going to be due on the same day. Your first draft is going to be due on the same day. The revision work that we're going to do is going to be due on the same day. And your final draft is going to be due on the same day. There's one exception to that. You're writing 3 major essays this semester. So that's roughly 1 a week. The third one is due a little bit later because that's the final one and you get a few more days to sort of work on it. Also, you will write essay 1, you will have some peer review of it, and then you will revise it. The same thing will happen for essay 2. At the end of the semester, you have the option, in addition to turning in essay 3, which is your sort of third and final essay, you have the option of revising again either essay 1 or essay 2. So again, you have the option at the end of the class, when the last day when everything's due, of revising either essay 1 or essay 2. You don't have to revise it, but common sense, if you got a chance to improve your grade, take it. Okay, so look at whatever essay you did the worst on and take another shot at it. I highly, highly, highly encourage you to do that. The main philosophy about writing is there's no secret. The metaphor I like to use, it's like going to the gym. Okay, you only get better in the gym by just repeatedly going and doing all the different machines and running and doing all that kind of stuff, right? So let's say you're training for a marathon. You do all this stuff and you're running the marathon. You get to where you need to be and you can run the marathon. If you take a year and a half off and don't do anything, and then you try to run a marathon, how's that going to go? Not well, okay? Writing is like exercise. So the only way we get better at writing is by, first of all, reading. The more we read writing that is written well, the more that kind of encodes in our brain what writing is supposed to look like, as in our writing. So we read. We write about what we read and what we see and what we hear. We have people look at our writing and give us feedback on it. That can be our peers, that can be instructors, that can be whoever. And then we take another stab at it. We write again. And then we write more about something else, and we repeat the process, and you just write and write and write and write and write. That's the only way you get better. That's it. There's no magic button for your writing. That's it. So we're going to practice that in a condensed way this semester. And like I said, even though it's a short amount of time, once you guys get in the rhythm, it's good. There's one exception to, or one thing I want to call attention to. All the homework, sorry, that was my dog. All the homework that is due, you can turn it in late. I don't advise that because every day it's late per the syllabus, as you will see, you're going to lose a letter grade. And with such a short class, if there's one piece of advice I can give you is stay on top of stuff. Just turn stuff in on time. Stay on top of it, okay? When you turn in your first drafts, it is imperative that you turn them in on time. I'm going to say that again. When you turn in your first drafts of your major essays, it is imperative that you turn them in on time because the computer is set up on the day after you turn in your first draft to send automatically everybody in the class randomly copies of other people's first draft. And then your homework that day is to read that other person's first draft and to give them feedback on it. You can see where I'm going here. If you don't turn something in, the system has no way to send it out and it gets all screwed up. So, turn in the first draft on time, okay? Otherwise, things get a little wackadoo. And the revision part of the class is really what it's all about. It's all about writing, having somebody give you some feedback, and writing again. That's what writing is. So that is the most important part of the class. Make sure you do that. Make sure you do that, okay? It's like stressing, flashing lights, right? Make sure you do that, okay? Because this class is short, actually, let me go grab the copy of the book. Hold on one second. This is our book, and I selected this book very carefully because, and I went through this book very carefully and selected just the specific things that you really desperately need to complete this class, okay? So I put a lot of work in up front to make this as easy on you as possible. Bear in mind, I didn't not assign some parts of this book because I didn't think they were valuable. So just because I only signed a part of the section on revision, let's say, doesn't mean that I don't encourage you to read it. I encourage you to read this whole book. The parts that I assigned are just the bare minimum you need to complete the assignment to get done with this class. So, I mean, these books are great resources, and there's a lot of really good information in here. So, explore beyond, okay? There's one more thing I want to go over here, and it is the rubric. And a rubric, as you may or may not know, is sort of a it's a method for a writing instructor to assess your writing. And the most important thing a rubric does is it shows you that there's different aspects of writing. You know, a lot of times if you ask students if they're good at writing and they say no, the reason they say no is because they have bad grammar. Most people don't even know why they have bad grammar. And grammar is a very complicated issue. All right, we'll get into that a little bit later at a later video. But so in the Google Drive, I'm going to bring it up right here. In the Welcome folder, there's a document called Rubric. And if you look at that document, you will see 6 categories: response to the assignment, effectiveness of thesis, support, organization, style, and grammar and mechanics. Okay, so I'll go over these briefly just so you understand these different aspects. Response to the assignment. This basically, if I ask you to write an argument about a song or a film, and your paper is telling me when it was released, how much money it made, who directed it, who starred in it, that is not an argument. That is a book report, sort of, about the film. You're just giving me facts. An argument means that you are saying something about the film that could be argued. So I thought that I don't know, what's the Avengers? I haven't seen it, but was an ineffective ending to the series because blah 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 blah. All right, that's an argument because somebody could disagree with you. If you're saying it was released in this date and it made this much money, nobody could disagree with that. That's not an argument. So response to the assignment is, are you doing what I'm asking you to do? All right, at a base level. Effectiveness of the thesis means, is your argument clear? Do you sustain it throughout the paper? Does your reader know what you're trying to say? Okay. Support. Support is extraordinarily important. Support is, are you going into whatever kind of text, whether it's a book, a film, a song, a piece of art, whatever, that you are analyzing? And are you recognizing details from that text and incorporating them into your paper to show your reader what you're talking about rather than just tell them? Support is extraordinarily important. One of the things I will likely say on all of your papers is I need more detail, okay? Freshman writers, beginning writers tend to usually write in big generalities. One of the things college does is make you go deeper. That's one of the things my job is going to be this summer, is to make you go deeper, okay? Organization, extraordinarily important. Basically hinges on the topic sentence or the first sentence in your paragraphs. They are sentences that take your thesis argument and break it into smaller, more specific points. They're kind of like the map for your paper, right? This is where I'm actually going and what I'm actually doing. And then in between there is all the details and the specifics. Very important to work on your topic sentences in your organization. Style. Are you writing in a way that's appropriate to what you're trying to do? All right. Is your voice, are you writing in a way that's super casual and kind of, are you writing like you would text your buddy in a college paper, right? You want to, now that doesn't mean you have to be more formal than you can be. The worst thing that you can do is try to use big fancy words that you don't understand and try to write in big, long, complex sentences that don't make sense. Be you, but be you in a way appropriate to what you're trying to do. So if you think about the way you talk to your friends versus the way you might talk to your grandparents versus the way you might talk to your boss versus the way you might talk to your teacher, okay? Find the right voice. It's like finding the right tool for the right job. And then grammar and mechanics. The main thing I want to do here is help you to recognize aspects of your writing that specifically you could work on to make your writing more clear and effective, okay? The biggest problem here is sometimes if you're writing in such a way that it makes your writing incomprehensible. Not so much in an area of right and wrong, correct and not correct, but comprehensible, okay? So I will help you call attention to areas where, like, hey, you tend to write problems with subject-verb agreement, and it makes your reader a little confused sometimes, or it makes him seem like you're not being as professional as you could be, all right? So to think about that, the thing to think about with the rubric is that there's different aspects of writing, and you're going to be naturally better at some of them than the others. And what I want you to take away from this class is both what you tend to be naturally strong at and what you are weaker at, okay? It's called metacognition. Metacognition is a fancy word for thinking about thinking, which is kind of strange, but it's the way you're aware of why you're doing what you're doing or what's happening as you're doing something. All right. It's a very effective thing in teaching yourself how you learn. Really, you teach yourself how you learn. I don't teach you. I am giving you strategies that you are then putting into your world and your way of being, and you're moving yourself forward. Okay. So we want you to develop an awareness for what you're good at, what you need work at, and all that kind of stuff. So kind of a long introduction here. I hope that makes sense. I encourage you to dig in, look through all the videos, look through the book, get after it. And if you need any help, send me an email. Email is Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We all need time over the summer to unwind. And so if you get a hold of me in the day, I will get back to you that day. If you get a hold of me at 10 o'clock at night, I'll get back to you the next day. Okay? Good luck.